right, folks, let's get right to it. What's going on? Let's start right with the big daddy market, NASDAQ 100. A couple things to talk about today. Big developments, big patterns. Great to see everyone. What's going on? What's up, chat? It's a slow Tuesday. What's up, Lake, Darts, Mateo, Irsip, Carthago, Victoria, James, Frash, everyone else? Welcome, welcome. Let's look at these markets. We'll get into crypto momentarily, although not a heck of a lot really to update there. We're in that we're in that holiday stretch. Thursday is a holiday, folks, so we're probably not going to have a session on Thursday, 4th of July. So for now, get on over to harmonictrader.com. Get your TradingView software, folks. Anybody that's here or watching the program, listen, it all starts there at TradingView with the Harmonic Pattern Collection by sending your username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. And I got some new things coming. Not only the software, but harmonictrader.com. A couple things I want to start in the second half of the year. Some shorter term trading sessions, as well as some more focused, kind of longer term swing trading opportunities. Also, I don't know if you guys see it, but we have a tip jar in the left corner. How that's going to work is that I don't know if it's going to work, but it's there. I'm going to set some rules around it, and it's just a test today. But we're going to do something with the tip jar in the sessions to come, kind of be able to enable people to get specific requests and do a thorough rundown on those requests. So for right now, it's just a test, but I will eventually do a $50 minimum because I just don't want too many requests. If you've got something you want me to seriously do a rundown on, I'm happy to do that once we get it all up and running, whatever market, you know. But we'll check that out, okay? That's in the bottom left corner, but more to come. Slowly we're getting there. But let's talk about the NASDAQ. Let's talk about the Qs. Crypto, tech. Market is just on fire. And this is what we have been really building towards for the past year. And it's amazing that we were down at 15K. Now we're at 20K. 15K a year ago, 20K today. And that also shows us the kind of longer term dynamics at work in this market. It's a lot of strength. Now, weekly chart. And in general, I said this in the last week or 2 weeks that we are starting to get close to realizing some serious long-term targets. So it's not like we are surprised by what's happening. And, I'm always want to be 3 to 6 months ahead of this market. I want to be eyeing up my levels. I want to be assessing, what are the possibilities, not only trigger to target style assessments, but, okay, what's going to happen when we get to target? For us, for target all along, if it's S&P, if it's NASDAQ, all of it's been the 1618. That we were assuming this is going to be a big 1618 breakout year, which it has been. Essentially, your correction from 2021 there up to a 1618. And that's it for NASDAQ futures. That's 22,300 above, call it 22,000. And then, as I said last time, a 236 or a 382 kind of notion would not be crazy. So look, I am mega bullish on not only this year, second half of this year, but, and I've said this a lot, I'm mega bullish where we're going to be at the end of this decade, like unthinkable prices, okay? That's why everything we're looking at now, these breakouts, these continuations, the Nvidias of the world, those are all larger signs of major movements to come in the next few years. This is it's a historic breakout. So that is the thought going into this, the thought moving forward, any patterns, any possible targets that we're looking at. Okay, we know what needs to happen. For the NASDAQ futures here, all right, we're flashing a butterfly, our 1618. That's up at, as I said, 22.3. The weekly chart's showing a butterfly among other possibilities. We had a shark, what have you. Top end on that butterfly is like 20,900, and we don't see any confirmation yet. All of this is good. All of this is really the kind of thing you want to see, where this is trending, keeps trending. It's not like we have an HSI bearish inflection, but we're getting closer and closer. I think as we get into the rest of the summer, you got earnings coming up in 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, really, they start after next week, but the bulk of them is going to happen at the end of the month. That's the kind of the final event that I expect for this market to continue to progress higher up to these targets, with kind of a fade out into August. All right, so maybe we get up to the hop level. We're sitting right at the 127 all time. So just understand, we're at some minimum levels. Without confirmation, we've got nothing. You've got just a level. We have a zone between 19.9 and 28 or 20,900 generally. The bigger targets and the 1618 has always been about January anyway. I saved that little extra time, end of January, just in case. And it actually works out. Time-wise, look at it this way. Time-wise of our simple ABCD structure is like this. You measure it this way. There's the A to B factor. Okay, that's 40 bars, 40 weeks. Now, if we project that 1-to-1 to the right, which is what everyone should do, then your B to D level, well, 1-to-1 is right there. So literally the time equivalent phase of that being any kind of minimum ABCD structure was end of April. So 40 weeks up, retracement, 40 weeks up. But what we know happens is that it'll get extended like a 1618 ABCD. So 1618 of 40 bars is generally 65 bars. 65 bars, okay? 65 weeks gets you to like October. I like it. So that's your window. Price and time. At least 20, I'm thinking 20,900, which is pretty easy from where we are. It's barely 5%, maybe up to 22.3, which is like 10% move from current levels for a top, for at least something there. Okay, and that's so everything's on track. I think it was people got a little off track with what happened in April. I don't think any of us, not here, but a lot of people, for whatever reason, were getting a little too distraught with that pullback, and that ended up being like the launch pad for the major run. All of that still just on track, and I think we have to kind of spread it out and start looking for things that are going to come on strong second half, namely Tesla. Who loves you, Tesla? Harmonic traders love Tesla. And we've been on Tesla since 180. I mean, really all the way back here. But if you go back to April, May, I was down here at 145. I was like, boy, if we could just kiss 127, that would be a perfect weekly type 2, maybe even the low for the decade. But we bounced off of 145, and I said, let's give it a little extra time, a few more weeks, and we did. And now We hit our target. 225 was something we just talked about. I mean, last week we're like, yeah, let 225, you know, go 190 to 225, 180, 225. You're there. I'm thinking it's more like 295, guys. Retest the bat pattern up here, 295, maybe even 300. And Tesla's been the laggard of all the big patterns from 2022 that we got. Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, you name it. We had massive NVIDIA, massive patterns at the low at the end of 2022. Now it's time for Tesla. And the other chart, Tesla chart that I brought up was the 2X granite share. Remember this beautiful creature? This is what harmonic patterns should look like. They should be that beautiful. They should hit your zone with a confirmation and then turn. Hit it, terminal bar, and react. And there you go. Will we come back for a type 2? I don't know. I don't think so. Not when you're this strong. That's one of like the initial assessments is how strong do we hit target 1? We've blown through it. So I expect this to go to 14, 92, 15. Also, we kick it to a daily chart, which I don't even think we looked at the daily, but it's an ugly shark with T1 at 16. I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with a minimum 382 shark to 50. What do you guys think? Freeze, don't worry about it. You're not sorry. You said don't worry about, he's saying he didn't worry about Tesla because he didn't get into Tesla because he thought it was sleeping 3 weeks ago. Hey, it's been sleeping for 3 months. And we just woke up. Literally 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we just woke up. I mean, that was 8 trading right at the hop for a long time. So, you know, it's a start. It's a big start. I think this is a big start to, this is more than just a reaction. And we go to monthly. Look at that monthly chart. Monthly, it's a 3-bar breakout. This is what I'm talking about in terms of with 3-bar breakouts. They need to be decisive. That's a decisive 3-bar breakout candle. And anything that closes above 970, which we know that will, okay, that's the start of something major. Tesla itself, the monthly chart, that's a beautiful monthly 3-bar breakout. So I expect that to be strong. We need to crack this downtrend, but you're really close. This is probably the biggest progress we've seen in over a year, and it might be the biggest progress since the top itself. Don't underestimate Tesla ever. It's not just a car company. And every time I hear that, I'm like, that's like saying Steve Jobs was just a phone company or Apple back when. But if we're connecting dots, what is it? 618? Perfect. I expect that to be retested. I really think 280, 290 is the number. But then when we connect dots and put it together, well, if that's a 786, okay, which it is, where even if this larger result does not end up breaking out, I think everything is here. You have your C point on Tesla, your all-time 786. It's more like 350. It's more like 350. This is how we lay out the levels, folks, and be able to make those kind of deductions of, okay, where is this really going? How's the structure? Where's the confirmation? We knew we had a ton of things down here. Now we're starting. Now it's in development, full on. I like that. A couple others. Things that are starting to really move. Here's and something else obvious. We've talked about this, but Meta, ever since it dropped on earnings last time, that was like, that really was just a gift. This drop down here Okay, down to 420, and it's right back to what was that? It hit 518 2 days ago. But this is interesting. This is something I want to talk about. Okay, patterns. Patterns. What's the pattern tell us here? Bat. What's happening here? Reaction. 481. Go to target 1. Okay, that for me, that's classic. That's not only classic, but it's absolutely undeniable. So let it do its reaction. Come down here. And then target 1, 481. That's where I would expect this type of thing to come back. React, and then we'll come back later. Okay, but there's a bunch of things that are shaping up like this. A few others that are big new patterns. Let's talk about Intel. It's doing nothing. That's good. Intel's flatlining here. We had this big bat pattern around 29.50, $30. It's okay, but it's more about the weekly. It's trying to stabilize right at the dot, and we're still one more green week away before this is an actual go. 30.87 is the exact level, but this is another one where, hey, it's been beaten up, kind of deep value here, and I think if you're looking for things that haven't moved yet, that's something to be looking at. I'm not. There's probably 20 better semiconductor companies, okay, but I'm trying to mix it up. I want the things that are trending, but I think this is stabilizing where we're looking at this being a potential major low going forward. A couple others. I mentioned this last week, Lulu. Lemon down here, a couple of dots, the weeklies, and there was a shark. No. Where's a crab pattern on the 4-hour, I think, down here. We caught that first move. Where's my shark? Hold on. It's a crab, sorry. Crab pattern, 287. Lululemon's another one that I'm looking at. Where is this going to be the low? Are we going to stabilize here? Because you pretty much have to. I would say let's let that, for something larger to begin, we need a 3-bar breakout. We haven't triggered one yet. Look at all this action down here. I think we're close, but is there one bar that breaks out of a 3-bar range? No, not since the top. And so for me, I can't expect fireworks on Lulu until it's above 320. It's worth it to take the shot, but if it's not going to continue, then scratch it. We've got trending situations, and then we got things that are just languishing. There's not even turnaround. Like Intel is languishing, no doubt. But I'm trying to read that at this point. You're 2 months here sitting at $30 as a stabilization situation. A couple others. Was it Moderna? Was that? What was that? No, it wasn't that. Or maybe it was Marvel. I think it was Marvel with another dot here recently. Looking for the return, but Marvel was, sorry, hold on. It was a 4-hour. Here you go. It is a 4-hour. It didn't get down there. $64. A lot of these that are kind of consolidating. This is obviously just consolidating into earnings, the next earnings season, but 64 on the 4-hour. And I am looking at a lot of 4-hour charts for sizable moves. I mean, we had that on Tesla, had a bunch of stuff on the 4-hour, which gave us a great signals. Yeah, we can get to Mara. Let me talk NVIDIA before we get over to that crypto area. NVIDIA, guys, 4-hour yellow dots hanging up here at 120. Is this yet another entry possibility? Because check out NVIDIA. HSI. Here you go. once again. Come on. Right there. And we actually checked back yesterday. That was amazing. So that number for NVIDIA, just so that you know, 119.32, kids. Call it 120. That's your next stair step in the process. And I, like here or here. What other ones? The last several. I mean, geez, look at all that. Down there in December 23. Big continuation setting up for NVIDIA. So that the next set of stairs about to get constructed here, 4 hour. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. A couple of the others. So some of the stuff that I'm looking at currently, I want that next tier NVIDIA markets. I want things like super micro. Okay, this has got NVIDIA chutzpah, as they say. Yellow dot right here, all around 780. And this was a 4 hour as well. We had something here. We had a shark. Is a perfect type 2 shark, 742. Here's your additional secondary confirmation. Okay, some back-to-back patterns where this general 800 level should start to turn up. We get up to like back to 1,000 from here. That's what it looks like to me. Where's my pattern? I had a bat pattern here too. Man, it's just running slow. It was this shark. It was that shark. But you're looking for that next level higher. And we see it. We see it in stuff like Tesla, Meta. Microsoft was up big yesterday. We should take a peek at that. Microsoft's just a slow, steady juggernaut. Look at this. And NVIDIA and Microsoft are just going to exchange barbs for the next couple of years, shifting between 1 and 2 position. But there's Microsoft, all-time new highs. Look, I know it's tough to see it, but there's not anything that's going to stop that until we get confirmation, we hit major levels. Remember, we're at the 1618, we're beyond it. There you go. 1618 for Microsoft is right there. So think of it this way. We've clipped the 1618, which it's already been hit, and that was a couple of weeks ago. Okay, right there around 435. We're now 456. You entered into this acceleration phase, and let me just blow it up, because this is how I've always laid it out in the books, and it's really about a character of the market. What it does at the 1618, okay, you hit that 1618 level, which is right there, generally like scraping these tops, a little pause. Now you break out, and can we go to a 1902? Because that's the next stop. Microsoft 1902 gets you to like 480. It's still 20 higher, and do it on this run. And if you look at confirmation, come on, there's nothing. In fact, your confirmation is as strong on the upside as possible. Take a look at what HSI is doing. You're at the 50. That will just continue week over week until we register oversold. All of that points you 480. Make the run to 500 now. Hold on. Thanks. Yep, let's get to it. I just, look, it's unfolding about as ideally as could be for all of this major breakout stuff. And I think, again, this is a lot of, where you're breaking out. It's 2024. You're doing major breakouts. Where does this lead us to in the next 6, 12 months, and then 3 to 5 years, think about it. Because if you go to Microsoft on the monthly, I mean, it really doesn't matter where it is. Because you can't deny the fact that, look, breakout, all-time new highs, bypassing a yellow dot, and actually there's an HSI signal underneath that, where you would still need 2 bearish months to even trip off any kind of correction. I mean, you would need to see something like this kind of action here. And what you're getting is more like breakout behavior, breaking out above, beyond bearish signals here. And I would say you're like here. You know, this is like maybe halfway through the move. You know, if you're 200 points low to high, you could see you doing another 200. That's a long-term assessment, folks. Long-term is what I'm talking about. Just trying to highlight the strength of what has been happening and where it can lead to, because it's impressive stuff. You know, I suspect all of these do, you know, 2618, 314 by the time they're done. There's your 1618 on the monthly. And then I would say 2618, that's your minimum extreme, and I would say that these are extreme extensions. 570. Okay? So we're running into some targets. We're approaching, I think, critical levels as we get into further into the summer to target us before November election. All right? This trend is fully intact. And it's the 1618 on the Qs, the SPY. I didn't even do that. I'll do that for a second here. But the SPY, look, you couldn't ask for a stronger breakout move. SPY's like this. There's my numbers, 1618, 560. Did that last? This is what it did last time. We'll see what we get at 560. But clearly, between now and 560, if that's not by the end of the month, or certainly by August or early August, I'd be surprised. That's your 1618. And maybe we probably grind for a few weeks at the 1618 and do some kind of pause. But where we are currently, we got to finish up that run, and we finish it now. Okay? Let's jump over. Oh, yeah, we'll do a couple. We'll segue to crypto by looking at some of those stocks. People want to look at Mara. There's Mara, guys, 2177 on the monthly. There's the weekly. Come on. Mara's, that's a beautiful chart. Listen, just because something's not skyrocketing doesn't mean it's not in good position. And I think that's the state of crypto and Bitcoin. It's doing the work. You got to do the work. And so, you know, you're on an uptrend for Mara. You're holding that uptrend. Okay. It's going to take time to get to there, but that's not a problem. What was the, yeah, it was a daily shark. That's what I thought. So Mara is that shark taking its good old time. But hey, that was 13 back in April. Now we're early July, we're 21. That's not a bad return, guys, for 3 months of work. It's a damn good return. Do the Riot, which is really lagging. I mean, it's just not, just kind of stuck at $10. But yes, there's big things at $10. And then there's probably others that are moving better, like SDIG. Yeah, that's down the day, but that's made progress off of its lows, and there's big patterns looking left. That's SDIG, stronghold digital mining. And I don't think these will really take off until we can get Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin's going to languish. I tweeted something, first one in like 2 weeks. The big deal for Bitcoin, okay? It's right now. We have a dot. We have confirmation at target. This is still the same chart. This is the same outlook. And dare I say, we probably could do something like this, where we don't want to see this much underneath here. I would say under these lows, we go big red. Like it has to be there. And I would say this is probably lukewarm action in between. If I'm going to color it out like this, just think of it like this. Okay, this has to be green. It has to be, I would say, probably not even that green. Probably more like this kind of green, where we're mildly green. And we get greener as we go up. So that's what we want to see. We're really stuck in this crazy kind of pinball action level to level. And this is how I would look at it, you know, with just the thought. I need to see this get above 64K. Like that, I would be more inclined to get constructive about the rest of crypto if this can get back up and then come back and give me a challenge on this zone. Need to see that thing get back up here. And dare I say it's like kind of like that. You got really firm resistance up here. I would not be surprised to see this thing come back. I'm just trying to color code this. I do not want to see this down here. So I don't want to see Bitcoin under 58,000, period. We've been sweeping these lows for a long time. Check out the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin. Third 4-hour pattern with another bat back down, retesting 3 lows. Okay, that has to hold. You're there, and I would think, you know, going forward now, time is going to become more important, not less. We're going to need to start demanding that Bitcoin puts in the launch pad here at 61, holding 61, and then give us this daily check back, what we're looking at currently, to go back, make a retest of the pattern. That's your bullish scenario. I know there's all this funky color coding, but that's kind of how what I'm seeing in my brain. That we have some confirmation down here. This was extremely critical and edgy test on Bitcoin. Okay, but the entire sector will not run until we can recover from this. That's where we're at. And probably the easiest way to do it is break the trend line, okay, and stabilize off this trend line right now, right there. You are in a box, kids. It's like this. You know, we could bounce around and even possibly come back, retest the open of that bar. The open of that yellow bar, that's the open bar HSI trigger at 60,884. That's 1,000 lower from current levels, but that would have to be it. So we'll see. You know, you can't expect much. Got a holiday weekend coming up. There hasn't been a lot of catalyst in the sector at all, and the T coins have been getting demolished. It's all because of this. Bitcoin sideways to down. It's probably the worst possible environment for crypto. Meanwhile, we do have a lot of other T2 and the T coins that we want to start considering. I do want to consider things. Like I don't want to just throw it all out the window. You know, I brought up this Akash network. Okay, slowly making progress off of T2. Down here, where'd you go? Binance. There's a T2 here. Okay, but that's one. There's a whole bunch of things that are not working or still falling from what started in May, but these are the kind of situations, and it's the new recipe, daily type 2, weekly oversolds, that, you know, this has got. There's a yellow dot. It happens on Akash. It'll be official come Sunday. So we have triggers. We have signals there. Yeah. What's up, Mitch? Mitch is in the house. Mitch has got a hot take for us. hot take, but BTC has been a liability for the portfolio the past 2 months due to sheer outperformance of tech stocks. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is why, and again, that's going to continue. The tech is going to overtake crypto and continue to overtake crypto. The size of tech, I think, will be something where it's playing the catch-up role. But I agree with that, and that's why we've talked about the likes of Tesla, others realizing their day when crypto, okay, great market, but not moving because of the sheer dollar value. You're not getting asset allocation into these areas. Here's API 3. This is another one. Look, it's beautiful. Everything you want to see. But if the market's not running, there's Gartley. It's a type 2 Gartley. API 3 right at 218. Call it $2 is the low. Right at $2. There's a couple of things here. It's around $2 at 220. But API 3, it's another one of these super crypto T coins that's not moving when you've got things like Tesla moving 5% a day and not giving up the value. And I think that's the trade-off that everyone's realizing is that, yeah, it's great when crypto does these moves, but then they come right back and they give it right back. Couple other T coins to consider, okay? ACH. I've been on this for a long time. Here we are with another T2 right at 2.11 cents. I like it. Okay, and the weekly too. The weekly's going to pop out. I thought the weekly popped out. Where are you? It's close. The weekly did not pop out. The daily did, and the daily was ideal type 2. So nice on that one. Couple others, things you guys might not be looking at, but have my attention. Where is that? Where is it? Ethereum Classic. So I'm looking at Ethereum Classic and Ethereum. I'll go to Ethereum in a second, but Ethereum Classic is another, look, massive Gartley. Beautiful. I mean, these are beautiful patterns here on the daily, serving it up right on schedule for ahead of what is anticipated to happen, which is nice to see. You've got a big daily pattern. Here's your weekly. We know it's a type 2, and you're going to get a dot very soon. Weekly is oversold. We need one more green candle, and we're going to get a dot. So this might be yet another one here, Ethereum Classic, scraping the lows, but about to give us a secondary confirmation. It's damn close. It's damn close. It's just, remember when Tesla didn't do anything for a long time, like all last year, and Meta, Microsoft, and others were racing, and now Tesla is starting to do stuff. It's the same kind of situation. We have to put ourselves in front of the whole deal. Interestingly enough, an Ethereum name server has been outperforming all of them. I mean, this is what we should be expecting with a lot of these type of coins. ENS, that's amazing progress. Breakout, we had a dot all the way back here back in May at 15. That's a double. I'm really impressed, and I think there are a lot of things in the Ethereum related coins. Just seems like a lot of things are popping for those guys. Ethereum name server, ENS, I'm impressed. Okay, probably a little toppy at the moment. Maybe get a little pullback here. But that's progress. That's progress defined. Ethereum is still shark to 5.0, guys. Ethereum, and I think we're a similar situation when Ethereum was at 2880. Taking its time. Now you've got a couple other things, 3400, 3300 was the 5.0. There you go, shark to 5.0. and that has to hold. So that has to be your low, 33.17, and begin the march back up to 38.50. I do think that is your low, 3,300 right now. Yeah, I don't know. Carthago is saying crypto is a toxic asset. I don't know if it's a toxic asset. Not when we're in a halving cycle. If it was any other year, I'd be like, oof, you're not going to have a heck of a lot to trade on. All right, but I do like what's happening down here. I just think you're not going to get the rush that everyone was expecting to go all year. And I do say that, if we're not going to develop and do stuff in the next few weeks, then it's probably not going to happen until the fall. January, end of January, still the target for everything. Okay, or at least we should be well on our way by end of January to all the big targets we've talked about. So potentially a lot can happen between now and then. And after last week, I think we have to be looking at the future with a different shade of glasses on. I do think a lot of change, a lot of things that are to come are starting to emerge. So, if the market's breaking out, general tech market, S&P, what have you, okay, there's a larger allocation going on. That's always good, no matter what. And for crypto, that's what we want to see. We want to see money flowing into the market, flowing into this sector. It's not going to happen evenly, but this is probably setting up for a second half of the year story. But you're here at 3,300, just like we were at 2880, waiting for the turn, the pop up, the 3-bar breakout. Couple more. Zen, haven't seen that. Let me see that. Zen. There's Zcash. Haven't looked at that in a while. That's done nothing. Zen. Zen USDT. Horizon. Nice. Look, that's a nice pattern, but what's the history look like? You're right back to the lows here. That's not really the kind of progress like Ethereum name server. You're well off the lows. You've broken into new recent highs. Zen is just right back to all-time lows. Even with the pattern, and this is a perfect setup, pattern confirmation. Go to T1 at 1146. But if we go out further, tell me about the progress of that chart. It's nothing but down. It's a just pure liquidation event, straight out, ever since they set that thing free. That's not progress. I've talked about that, of why we don't, we want the ones that are doing this. And if it's stocks or whatever, and then go again. That's what we want to see. This versus, say, Solana, those show you the difference. Solana, something like Zen versus Solana. Okay, here we go. Yeah, see? Up, back down. Possible dot coming in this week, but it's, you get here. Yeah, you make the run. Retracement, go again. Retracement, go again. That's what we're trying to go for. But if you're stuck down here at the lows and we're already in the post-halving phase of the cycle, maybe you get a pop off at some point towards the end of the cycle, but just not a lot. I would be looking down there on Solana, 120, 130 generally. There's some patterns down here. It's the way I would look at that is steady uptrend, another pattern. Okay, another pattern within that uptrend to signal the continuation. Again, a totally different creature than that last crypto. Couple more. What's up, Ox? Wants to look at SHIB. Yeah, SHIB. So another one here where we're going to have to avoid dead crypto. SHIB's like this. Big surge up, all the way back down. Why not come all the way back? What is there for SHIB on the daily? Not a lot. Not much to go on with SHIB here. Couple of dots, but we've seen that time and time again. Yeah, look, and here's my scale failing. Yeah, this is total garbage on my part. I'm really, not happy with myself. I probably have to sell this at a loss, I think, and just stay out of this crap, because at this point, it's time to take out the trash, time to take out the dead crypto. And not that every T coin is trash. I mean, T coin, we could say it's trash crypto instead of toilet. But seriously, I'm thinking that it's, it's this kind of stuff. If it's just going to do a one-off move, then that's it. Then you probably come back and all the way back down for an 886. This is the only possibility on scale. And I bring this up, kind of yelling at myself as I do this, where it's probably more like that. There's your B point, X, A, B, C, D, down to 786, which is, it's still 20% lower, or even a full cycle 886 reset to 3 cents. No thanks. Not for a guy that went in at 7 and then more at 6, sitting at 5. Yeah, I'm done. I've had my fill of these crypto for sure. That's why I want to take out the crypto garbage and only focus on, the top tier crypto going forward. And they can be T coins, but they've got to be moving. You got to have some progress and a whole lot of harmonic on it. I mean, there's a zillion of these. I mean, things that had I held them, they did the pop and then they roll over. Yeah, lucky to be out in a lot of these. Some that I'm still on, like, hold on, sorry. Here's render, guys. So I guess we had that big shakeout on AI stuff. I don't know why this is so slow. Render I like because here's a couple of high level patterns, and this is building and it's holding a real nice trend line with, that's a T2 on the daily. You back-to-back patterns as well, and then here's your weekly with a weekly HSI. So that's a different creature than a lot of those other crypto that have done nothing. That's why things like this I'm willing to look at, assuming that we're on a trend continuation. And I mentioned this last week that for XRP, okay, don't have a problem with it other than I don't expect it to do much. And XRP is like this. Just type it in. Man, this is slow. XRP just sitting at this 48 area, not doing much, not, I don't think it'll be a problem, but I don't, with this kind of progress, it's going to be a long time before that perks up. There's no trigger to jump in on here versus like render, which is in an uptrend and, generating patterns. Here we've got patterns on XRP, but there's no trend. You're not making progress off of these lows just yet. There you go. It's like that. Tough to see that. Couple others. What's BLS, Neil? Neil wants to look at BLS. I don't know what that is. BLS. blood loop. No, I'm going to just tell you right now, guys. I've always said this is about Bitcoin on this cycle. I don't know what this is. It's a new creature. I can't tell you unless it's traded for a little while. Okay, blood loop. I have no idea what that is. And I would not, I would be very suspect of anything that's brand new unless it's had some kind of major correction. Pop up, come all the way back down, and then form the pattern and go. At this point, being up from, that's a double in a week, I can't do much for you. There's other things. I just think we're going to have to be really stringent on what we consider as acceptable. Things that are languishing, you got to throw them out. What's up, Toro? Let's look at Doge on the 3-day. I can do that. Let's do it this way. Doge. Gonna wrap up that with that. There you go. Doge, we've said all along, is 12 to 13 cents. Couple of things going on there on here's the daily. That's what we wanted. It has to hold here for sure. And you're just looking for Doge to hold. And I mean, even Doge has got a little bit of some trending action. It's better than that. I'd say Doge is even better than XRP because at least you have a little of that going on. I mean, XRP is just a flat line. So, okay, daily, no pattern, but daily, what about weekly? Let me clean this up. Nothing on the weekly yet. And again, I think at this point, there's Doge on the weekly is oversold. So maybe next week you pivot out and you can resume something on Doge. Don't know. I think it's going to be time, though. Couple more, guys. What's the spam? I don't know what that spam is. No, I think some of those other ones, guys, until we need to let this kind of shape up, turn around. Until it does, no thanks. Here's one more here. Hold on, 1 second. 1 second. All right, thanks, God. All right, here we go. Here's Matic, guys. Matic is another one. It's not moving. And maybe it will move, and then we could circle back to Matic. But look at that. There's your chart. I'm not interested in Matic. I want to remove all of these. Unless they have something or they've done or they start to make progress, I'm not going to be looking at things like this anymore. Because they're doing nothing. Maybe they go 50 to $1, but this is different from Render, different from ENS or even Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have to get this stuff out of our vocabulary so we can focus on things that actually have potential. That's a challenge, but we have to do it at this point because there's just too much dead crypto that's been accumulated. Yeah, last one though, Near. Yeah, I can look at Near. Near's the only reason why is because Near is one that does sit in my brain as that's progress. It went from 9, did a 50% correction, but it's progress. It's from $1 to 9, now 5. Give me something daily, weekly, anything here. I wish I had a pattern. I don't have anything. Daily or weekly. Weekly is better on Near, and so when we get a weekly trigger on Near protocol, yeah, that's the kind of one I'm into. Because I know it's progressing, it's giving us a continuation signal at a higher level, and dare I say with a complex this complex return, meaning once this does trigger in the next week or two, there's a very good likelihood that not only we go back and retest prior highs, but this goes to a continuation. I think it's 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. So that's better than, okay, then even here's H bar. H bar is another one. Came all the way back for the type 2. Okay, weekly has to pivot out. It's just not going to do anything. And it did that big surge up to 15 and came right back to 7 where we have patterns. But still, I would say that take that out. I mean, that's a little better than others. That's better than XRP or better than some of those other metaverse, but not by much. You know, I mean, maybe for H bar down here at around 7, but I don't want it to be like a scale, like SKL, and just 0, nothing. Weekly bullish bat, yeah, but we've seen that. I've got this bearish crab, but the problem with a lot of those patterns, those big, look, they're either going to move by now, or they're just going to flatline. Like VE chain has got that massive, beautiful weekly pattern. Done nothing. Nothing at all. Where are you? There it is. It's a massive pattern. I was salivating at that back here around 2 cents more than 2 years ago. And what did it do? Well, it more than doubled. Great, but went from 2 to 5 cents. But that was it, and then came right back down. And that is the problem. That's the problem with this dead crypto. You go up, you get one kind of move because you see the sector get a flood of money allocated to it, and then right back down. And I want something where I can get in it, it's going to run, and it's going to continue, and so I get paid for being in there. Bitcoin, it's holding. Ethereum, holding off of those lows. Most of these others, no. They've, in my opinion, a lot of these have failed what they were supposed to do the first 6 months or whatever. The 6 months preceding the halving. Some moved, but others no. And I go back to things like FET, AI. Like I don't even know if I want to go back to that. Render, yeah, I'll hold render, holding render. But FET after whatever, I don't know what happened with in terms of that debacle with those coins, but seems to me that's a major problem that didn't work out. And I would think that FET with this kind of a move, it's just taking its time, but why not come all the way back down for a full 886 reset to 40 cents? That's what I think about FET. It was great. It was an amazing run, but it's not sustainable, and not much of this crypto is. With the patterns, great. We can trade it. The software will generate those opportunities for us, but we still have to be proactive. Now, we have a shark here in FET. So right around 120, maybe even retest around 115. But if we fail and we find ourselves under $1, forget it. This whole thing has failed. That's the problem with crypto. If it happens, I don't know if it's going to happen as much in Ethereum and Bitcoin because you're getting a lot of allocation. At least you're still getting ETF allocation that's holding it up. But that's why these have to continue. These strong crypto have to continue. They can no longer languish. We need to see the resumption. I mean, Ethereum is probably the one to be watching. We need to get above 3,500 and continue. Bitcoin on a 3-day, it looks like we're on a bearish butterfly. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's like this. I mean, Bitcoin is on your 3-day. 3-day? Here's a 3-day. I don't have a bearish butterfly on the 3-day. Oh, you got to go all the way back to the prior high. Wasn't that something? That was a prior all the way back there. Yeah, we could. The question is this a type 2? From here? From that initial butterfly? Is that a type 2? Technically, yes. Technically, yeah, it is. But what happened? Well, we're putting in a new HSI this week. That's why it's so critical on there on the 3-day. It's 61 has to hold. Look, I'm gonna say it here. Probably for the first time since we topped at 72, and we're at 62. So we're 10+% off the all-time high. I'll say this: if we break down under 58, there's nothing till 42. All right. So if we don't hold where we are now, and I would say it's more even like 61, 62, then something more dramatic will befall Bitcoin, where Bitcoin will do a full 618. It's either here now, and this is I'm not there yet, and I still think we're on a launch pad to 102.5, but you have to hold here, and that's like your 236 level. Your 236 level is 59.5. Otherwise, we all know 382, right? That's at 50, but it wouldn't even be that. It would come all the way down there, 36 or 40. 36 or 40. It wouldn't be 50. That's why this is so critical. And we'll see how that shapes up come Thursday. Even though it's a holiday week, you just want this to do nothing. You want this to stay where it is and give us a green candle, and then turn up next week. Remember, we got to get above 64K. 64K is the number, and then we can start the resumption. But until then, yeah, I'm not going aggressive until we can get Bitcoin moving again. Folks, get over to harmonictrader.com. Get your TradingView username license. Send your TradingView username to hpc@sr-analyst.com. No show on Thursday. Okay? Bring all your other picks next week. We'll get the tip jar running so that make that easier. And yeah, Anil, well, let's do that Nifty on Tuesday. Come on back next week. If you guys liked what you saw today, hit subscribe, hit the like button on your way out. I appreciate that. And, enjoy your 4th of July holiday. It's not a bad country, guys. It's actually a pretty good country over here. It just gets a little crazy sometimes. That's all. But let's stay focused. Enjoy it. Go eat a hamburger. Until next week, have a great one.